It is Tuesday, June 16th, 2020, and you are tuned into Dirt Tracker Daily. I'm Justin Fiedler. Today on the show, we've got some news right off the top that actually came out just this morning, and then we'll jump into all things Indiana Midget Week, so let's get started. First up, breaking news this morning from FloRacing. They have announced they have acquired SpeedShift TV and will begin simulcasting their live racing starting June 27th. The deal between the two companies sees Flo getting SpeedShift's assets and acquiring all their broadcasting rights, including Port Royal Speedway, Lincoln Speedway, Kokomo Speedway, the Sprint Car Challenge Tour, King of the West Sprint Cars, and a whole lot more. The addition of the SpeedShift content brings FloRacing's annual show count to over 800 events. Joining the FloRacing team from SpeedShift will be Darren Shanley, Chet Christner, Haley Shanley, and several other staffers. The first simulcast show will be a Pennsylvania Speed Week stop at Lincoln Speedway. Again, that date is June 27th. This move by Flo this morning, not a surprising one. They've been buying up rights and acquiring providers at a fairly rapid pace here the last 2 years. And with the depth and breadth of content from SpeedShift, it's not a surprise that they were a target for FloRacing. FloRacing subscribers, I think, are the big winners in this move with the addition of so much more live content to their already packed lineup. Going forward, it'll be interesting to see if we have additional consolidation of the dirt racing streaming space. You'll now have entrenched providers like Dirt Vision and FloRacing, continuing to add tracks and series. And then the remaining players in the industry are really niche providers. Sites like Racing Boys, Racing Dirt, The Cushion, Fast 4, and others, they provide streams and live coverage of just a couple of tracks or just a couple of divisions, things like that. So I do think it's great for race fans to have so many choices on a nightly basis for dirt racing content, but consolidation means more racing value for the subscriber's dollar. And I know there's been a lot of complaints out there over the years of so many streaming providers and having literally on the same night, if you have two divisions at a racetrack, one provider has the rights to one division and one provider has the rights to the other. So you literally need two subscriptions to be able to watch a single night of racing. So I do think that consolidation, at least some consolidation, is going to be good for the industry here. But I think, competition-wise, expect Dirt Vision and FloRacing to kind of be the two top dogs here. Obviously Dirt Vision, having the World of Outlaws Late Model Series, having the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, having those, those top divisions in dirt racing, and then being able to add things like Knoxville, Williams Grove, Attica, and certainly wouldn't be surprised to see more tracks added there. And FloRacing will be in the same boat. They've got All Stars, they've got a ton of late model content, they've got USAC, now acquiring SpeedShift to add to all the other things they already had. So it'll be fun here to see, what else happens. Certainly a fan of things like this myself. I love the business of motorsports. I love the business of sports, period. And this stuff is right along in line with that. So interesting news this morning, but again, not a huge surprise, but definitely think the fans win out on this one. If you want more information about that announcement, you can find it over at floracing.com. Moving over to actual racing, Indiana Midget Week gets underway tonight at Paragon Speedway, and tonight's race kicks off 6 straight nights of midget action. Logan Seavey was the Indiana Midget Week champion last season, and Brian Clausen has the most Midget Week wins with 9 all time. The entry lists are stacked for all 6 nights, and the field for tonight's Paragon show includes Kyle Larson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Rico Abreu, Shane Golobic, Logan Seavey, Gio Scelzi, Zeb Wise, plus the full contingent of USAC regulars, Tyler Courtney, Justin Grant, Chris Wyndham, Buddy Kofoid, a bunch more. The series hasn't made a stop at Paragon Speedway since 1985, so very few drivers in the field have literally any experience at the racetrack. Some will have experience in other divisions like sprint cars. Other drivers who we'll see compete throughout the week include World of Outlaws regular Darren Pittman, who will race Gas City I-69 Speedway tomorrow. His last Midget Week start came back in 2012. Carson Macedo, another World of Outlaws regular, will make 3 starts this week, including at Gas City, Lincoln Park, and Kokomo. Jason McDougall also announced that he is returning to full-time competition starting with Indiana Midget Week. He stepped away from racing last year to go work with Swindell Speed Lab's driver development program. He'll run all of Midget Week with Steve Reynolds and Flea Ruzick in the 21KS machine. He hopes to turn that ride into a full-time midget program and is also on the hunt for a sprint car ride for the remaining 2020 season. According to USAC, 36 teams have announced their intentions to run the full schedule, so winning each night will be extremely tough, and taking home the title will require nearly flawless performances on a nightly basis. Looking at predictions for who could win the title this week, it's hard to not choose Kyle Larson here. He'll be in a Tucker Boat entry all week and is coming in on the strength of 5 straight sprint car wins between the Outlaws and the All-Stars, which we talked about on the show yesterday. He's been very good, obviously, in midgets in his career, including lately. Let's not forget this guy did win the Chili Bowl back in January. Entering Midget Week, Tyler Courtney currently leads the USAC National Midget point standings. He's got a slight 6-point advantage over Chris Wyndham. Buddy Kofoid is third, Tanner Thorson fourth, and Andrew Laser is fifth. Indiana Midget Week events are full USAC points, so this will be a busy stretch for the competitors that are running for that championship, and they'll want to maximize the finishes as best they can this week, even with the stacked fields. The full schedule for the week looks like this. Tonight they are at Paragon Speedway. Wednesday they move to Gas City I-69 Speedway. Thursday and Friday will be back-to-back shows at Lincoln Park Speedway. Saturday is at Lawrenceburg, and then the week concludes Sunday at Kokomo Speedway. Each night of Indiana Midget Week will allow fans, but grandstands will be capped at 50% capacity in accordance with Indiana state guidelines. If you cannot be there, FloRacing will have live coverage all week starting tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern at Paragon. So a really fun week on tap. I think there's going to be some fantastic racing all 6 nights. With the fields that they're going to have, it will be absolutely insane. So definitely looking forward to a good week of racing. I wanted to point out a couple of new podcast episodes. Wing Nation has Freddie Raymer and Dominic Selzy actually today. I don't remember if I mentioned this last week on the show. Rip the Fence has Robert Ballou. Let's see here. What else is on the list? Dirt Nerds has a new episode as of June 15th. The Dirt from Knoxville has Hunter Schoenberg, which I don't think I mentioned last week either. And I saw a post from Michael Rigsby that he has an upcoming episode soon. That's not out quite yet, but he'll have Bobby Pierce on his Rigsby Report show here coming up. So a couple of different podcast episodes to check out if you need something to listen to this week. I haven't updated the DIRTRACKR pay-per-view schedule yet today, but I will definitely get to that here right after I get done recording the show. So the pay-per-view schedule will be updated throughout the week. I have a couple of other changes I want to make to the site here. I've got a couple of errors and things like that. If you see things that aren't working or are broken or something like that, feel free to reach out and let me know, and we will get those resolved as quickly as possible, because I certainly don't want there to be issues on the site. And if you didn't see my Twitter post from last week, I debated it whether even I should mention this on the show or not, but I have left my position at World Racing Group. I am no longer with, no longer with World Racing Group. No longer working on World of Outlaws and dirt car stuff. It was just something I wanted to do and spend a little bit extra time with my family and kind of focus on some of my NASCAR stuff. But that will give me more time to work on DIRTRACKR, which I am definitely looking forward to. I'd like to expand the podcast a little bit, maybe jump into some more interviews and things, which I've done a couple of, here, a couple months back, but haven't done any lately. But I would like to jump into some more interview type shows. And I kind of expand, not only on the podcast and the video stuff, but, you've seen me jump into TikTok a little bit. And I would like to continue developing the site out more, adding more analytics stuff. I would like to get a DIRTRACKR app going at some point. So this move will give me some opportunities to do some of those other things. So just a little bit of personal news, in case you didn't see my tweet from last week. Last Friday was actually my final day. But my time at World Racing Group was incredible. I spent 7 years there. I felt like we really did a lot over that time, to improve the product there, to make things better. Social media, websites, Dirt Vision, all of that stuff, is dramatically in a better place than it was when I first started, which I'm incredibly proud of. And the things you see on a day-to-day basis from the World of Outlaws across, the kind of digital landscape are, because of the work we did the last 7 years. And that's something that I am 1,000% proud of here going forward. Still a lot of friends there, still, will be a huge fan of the racing and the product there. I think the World of Outlaws, the Sprint Car Series, the Late Model Series, Super Dirt Car Series, all of the big events they have. It's just a fantastic company, fantastic product, and will now be a fan from afar and looking forward to the future. And you saw some of the future, announced over the weekend. I talked about on the show yesterday with the live TV package coming for CBS Sports Network. So excited for the future for the World of Outlaws, even though I won't be a part of it, but just wanted to share a little bit of news there. That's the show for today. Hope everybody has a good Tuesday. You can find DIRTRACKR Daily on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or where you get podcasts. Please subscribe and leave a review. You can also watch the show every day on YouTube and Facebook. You can email the show at info@dirtrackr.com, and you can follow along at facebook.com/DIRTRACKR, twitter.com/DIRTRACKR, and the website itself, dirtrackr.com. You can follow me personally on Twitter at Justin_Fiedler, and you can sign up for the DIRTRACKR weekly newsletter on the site. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Hope you get a chance to tune into some of that Indiana Midget Week action tonight. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about all of it. And we'll be back on Wednesday for more DIRTRACKR Daily.